I'm Emily Steckel, pharmacist, passion witch, and energy healer. And welcome to the Passion Witch Project, where we talk to folks who are living their passion and stepping into what makes them wonderfully weird. Today, we are joined by the incomparable Kristen Bedrick, a dear friend, a colleague, and really a sister. I'm so grateful to be joined by Kristen. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Emily. Greatly appreciate being here.
Oh, this is so fun. All right, we're going to talk about so many things. But to start, this question, I'm dying to know your answer because I asked you a while ago, a couple weeks ago, and you were a little bit skeptical of answering it. But we're gonna see what you've come to. If you could be the best in the world at one thing, what would it be?
Well, thanks for the prep in this question. And I have had the liberty of being able to see other guests answer the question. And of course, there are a lot of things that I could share, different skills, and what I want to be is the best me. And what can we ask for that? Nobody else can be uniquely me, and that's what I'm hoping for, is to just excel at who I am and what I'm doing and being the most authentic person that I am.
Yeah, I imagine it took some trial and error to get to that point where you're like, yes, this is it.
Yes. Yes,
I love that answer.
As a business person, I have learned how we get to explore ourselves and we get to show up as ourselves and we get to go against possibly what society has told us, and now we get to be ourselves through our businesses as an extension of who we are and put it out there, no holding back.
Mm-hmm. I love the idea of no holding back, right? I think we have a similar background in that we both came from the medical field. You are a multi-passionate, multi-titled person, registered nurse. You're also a manager or a director of a department, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Also a licensed massage therapist, a Reiki energy healer. So wearing all of the hats. I'm curious specifically about your time working in Western medicine and what it felt like to be someone who maybe, didn't 100% fit that mold. What was it like when you were there?
Yeah, absolutely. So being in the Western medicine world is an amazing experience. You get to be around so many brilliant people.
Absolutely.
You get to be around a community of helpers, of caregivers, and always just wanting to do the best that they can to help another human being.
Always.
And that's the passion that I have, that you have, that so many of us are here to do, is to help serve others and to help care for others. Yeah. And in the medical world, it is very body-based, and that's amazing because we live in these human bodies. And I often missed the soul part of it, the spiritual aspect. And it wasn't always an environment where I could freely talk about it. And we've spoken before that many people who know me, I thought I was hiding it, but I never was. And truly learned that it just exudes out of me, and I'm trying to help bring that a truly holistic experience for everybody I encounter, mind, body, soul. I know you add heart, because that's certainly a component to it. How do we care for one another in a holistic manner?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I so admire about you is that you were bringing that to your work. You weren't afraid to show that part of you when you were working in that setting. What were some of the things that you brought to the table that you began to make shifts that you were able to make in that setting?
I love this question now because I have owned it so much, is my intuition, and recognizing that intuition is science-based. It is knowledge. It is all of the little fine-tuned things that we are looking at, facial expressions, body language, but it's a lot more than that. It's listening to your gut, it's listening to your body, and it is listening to messages beyond. There are spiritual messages. So it is a mix of both, and we all interpret it differently. And to bring in intuition is the key, I think, to everything, because we can each have our own path, and there are so many wonderful modalities out there. How do you know what's right?
Exactly.
And they're all right, or they may not all be a right fit for you. So how do you match that? And I think it's listening to your intuition and trying to let go of ego and trying to let go of all the filters that make it really difficult to decide sometimes.
And all of those things, right, are the things that, I mean, we're going to talk about the idea of a liberated healer soon, but I feel like those are the things that make us feel trapped, right?
Exactly. How do we, yes, the chains that hold us down, the conditioning that we've had, how do we break free from all of that?
Yeah. So I think that's a great opportunity for us to talk about a liberated healer. This was a name that you came to me with that just, it just felt so juicy and so good. And it was like, yes, this is what I want to be. But how did that name come to you, and what does it mean to you?
Awesome. So we don't do this work alone, and we don't do business alone. So I had a coach and helped me through this, and we're working through names, working through archetypes. Like, what does this look like? What does it mean? What is the feeling we're trying to embrace as a medical professional, as a healer, whatever you're naming yourself? What do we want to feel? And we want to feel free. We want to feel healed. We don't want to have those chains down. We want to feel well. We want to feel vibrant. And it just came, Liberated Healers. It was the chill moment, the down your spine, yes.
The body, yes.
In the body, yes. Exactly. Yeah. And it stuck. And then it was, so then you doubt yourself. So when it becomes intuition, we get the full yes. And then we follow up with, oh, was that real? And all of the thing happens. The mind goes there. And so, of course, bringing it to you, and you're like, yes, this is it, and bring it to others, and they're like, yes, this is it, and just the continued guidance that this is the feeling. And more people that we've come to meet and work with, they say, I feel free, I feel liberated.
Yeah.
And that is unique, and it looks different for everybody, and that's the liberation. That it does not look one way, it looks different. And go back to your intuition and what does it mean to you? And that's the most beautiful thing, is how unique it can be for every single one of us.
Absolutely. I love that. It's, because we're not trying to make another box.
Exactly. Yes, see the box. No more boxes. Get out of the box.
Yeah. I've allowed myself to be in several different boxes over my course of working in the American economy. Certainly most recent of which was as a pharmacist, and certainly the context, the working context encourages that, but we also allow it. And so I think such a beautiful part of the Liberated Healer is that it starts here. We can choose not to be put in a box. We can choose to follow what feels right in terms of healing and draw on everything that we know and everything that we are.
As you keep saying box, then there's part of me that if it's wide open, I feel, oh boy, this is a little bit too uncomfortable. So where can we still have structure?
Such a good question. Yeah.
And that's what we're creating, a little structure around this, but still you get to choose your structure. You get to choose what feels right and what doesn't. Yeah.
And I think you're so good at reminding us all, choose what fits for you. Choose what fits for you. And sometimes that's the structure, right? To have a compassionate person who you trust to have your best interest at heart remind you have agency.
Yes.
You have autonomy and sovereignty, and that's magic.
Yes. Oh, magical. It's how do you choose what's best for you? And then if you make a decision and you learn, oh, maybe this wasn't the best for me and maybe I could have chosen something different, own it, acknowledge it, and make that choice to do something different. And no regrets, no guilt, you don't have to look back, learn from it. And likely that experience is going to help somebody else or have also helped you in a way that you couldn't have even imagined.
Yeah. I love that idea that, our most trying experiences, the ones that really make us grow, let's say.
We'll say that. We just had lots of images come through, probably in our last year of our lives as well, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it is sitting with it and living through that we expand our capacity to show someone else another way, right? I think about the burnout that I experienced working in healthcare, especially through the pandemic, and then for years after, just that full exhaustion and not being able to take care of myself, right? Not being able to take care of what I needed kind of for my soul, for my body, mind, all of it. It's like, how can you really care for another person when you don't have any energy left? even to care for yourself, right? So like, you know, in thinking about liberated healers, what do you see being different about the way we approach it in terms of our own well-being?
Well, when you said burnout, I thought of what caused burnout for me.
Yes,
And
please share if you don't mind.
It's not being aligned with your purpose. It's following somebody else's shoulds. It's following the conditioning that you knew no other way, and of no fault of your own or anybody else. But we followed a path, and it now doesn't feel right. And there's something in us that is creating the heavy weight. It's creating the burden. It's holding you down in chains. So that's that liberation to start to move forward in a path that feels best for you. And it takes time to explore that. And I think of Reiki as a practice. And as you're a fellow practitioner, we were taught a method. But then we each uniquely express it. And that's the same for nursing that I've done. It's the same as medical practice, that we're taught something, but then how do we bring our own unique gifts out and not say it has to be in the same way? And that's the liberation, is how do you express it to your ability, to bring your personality, to bring your soul through into the magic of the world. And that feels exciting and nourishing, and it no longer feels like burnout when you are following your aligned way instead of how someone else should do it. Does that answer? Is that?
Oh, absolutely. And I think you're kind of circling around this idea of creativity too, right? In these spaces where, you know, we're learning different tools, right? We're learning Reiki, we're learning how to be a nurse, we're learning how to do massage, we're learning acupuncture, whatever it is, we're learning all of these different. But then we're synthesizing, we're creating something that is uniquely us that we can share. And you know, the medicine that I share might not be for everyone, just like for you, but the whole thing is, that's the point. You know, we all need different things ourselves, and the folks that will resonate with what we're doing, you know, they will be different from one to the next.
And I have to point out that oftentimes it is the energy we're putting forward, because say, for example, I'm offering Reiki and you're offering Reiki. Again, it's not the Reiki.
Right.
It's the person.
It's the person.
It's the energy behind it.
Exactly.
And so it's the whole package. And that's why the beginning question you have is, how can I show up the most authentic as me? Because that's what's going to attract the energy that's needed to help everybody heal. And that's my purpose, right? That I see out there, is to help heal, to help care, to help serve. And I feel like it's not as aligned if I'm not showing up as me, if I'm trying to bring in too many other people's ways of doing it. And it's great guidance when you look at somebody and say, ooh, I like the way they're doing that. Great, do it. And it may go into that there's no scarcity, right? That we all can do of this, and there's enough people to support one another. There's enough resources. And for us to trust that is hard, but to trust that and to show up as yourself. I can't. So thank you for the beginning question that I hesitated a little to start with, because.
Do you remember what your first answer was when I asked you?
I swore at you. I cursed.
I love that. Yes. Well, it's funny. I wanted you to sit with it, because the first time that we chatted on the last show, you said I think it was something like, I found greatest growth in the things that I originally snuffed my nose at. When we were talking about journaling. Do you still journal?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I'm the same way. So often, like those things that I resist.
I know your question.
Oh, gosh.
So right, anytime we come up against another person and we think of the challenges that it brings.
Yes.
Listen, what is that spark inside you telling you? What are you resisting?
Exactly.
And I've been resisting being the most authentic me. Because people look at you weird, and they said you embrace the weirdness. But other people love it.
Absolutely love it. Yeah. I know. It's like you get to be loved for exactly who you are when you step into that weirdness, not some facade or partial version of yourself. Like you get to be loved for the whole you, and that's the best thing in the world.
So this brings into the liberated healers and the path. The path is healing ourselves. And healing others. And it's doing it together. It's doing it in community.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess that's it, right? It's doing it together. It's doing it for ourselves and in community. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you too, I know when you had originally come up with this idea, you're finding it difficult to get traction. When was it that it really kind of like you felt that ignition take off?
Well, Emily's amazing spark of helping see people for who they are and what they are, and the creativity and bringing people together and uplifting others. So thank you. So absolutely.
Thank you. Well, that's
right?
super generous.
I know, right?
I wasn't expecting you to say that, but that's very nice.
So, and where we're going with that is community. It's when I learned that I couldn't do this myself. I couldn't run a business solely on my own, even as a solo entrepreneur. And the magic started, everything comes to place when we come in community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I feel a lot more people are experiencing this and seeking it out.
Absolutely. We've definitely found that. People are hungry for connection. And certainly, it's possible to find it in online communities. That's great, right? Sometimes that's what we have access to. And I think, we can also find it in person now, right? The world has opened up to a point where, like, if you want to go find a community where you get hugs, that exists.
Perfect. Yes. Hugs are wonderful.
Hugs are wonderful. Yes. Yeah. So as you think about Liberated Healers growing, where do you see it in 5 years?
Oh.
Or at any time interval, perhaps. That was a very specific
I know. I love how you said timing. I actually just had an experience with a client who went to reach out to me for a second appointment, and they mentioned that they thought a month had passed. And so it was just so transformational, and there was so much that had happened in the time frame that they were like, it must have been, a month since we last met, and it was only a couple days. And so when you say 5 years, it doesn't matter the time frame, right? Because I have a big vision. We have a big vision collectively.
Yes.
And it is to change the way we care for ourselves and each other. It is to create new systems on how we do things, because our current system of caring for ourselves is not the way it should be in the future. I'm saying shoulds on that one.
Yeah. Not the way it could be.
Thank you for helping me, right? I was like, the should, I'll take that one out. We can see where it can be optimized.
Yeah.
And what it's bringing out is the internal healer in each and every one of us, and not relying on somebody else.
Yes.
And pause there, right? How do we get the answers from ourselves? And I got one of our community members popped up through my feed today with a message channeled very similar of not to listen to others, but to listen to yourself. And then the next important piece of that is that we need each other to do it. So it's not like you have to do all of this alone, that you do need the community to help reflect, to help guide, to provide the resources, to give you different pathways. And then reflect back your own answer. And that's the healing, that's the liberation, and not, again, to be done alone, but through community. So we're creating a new system and imagine a world where every single healer gets to be their authentic self, and now you have all these unique ways to care for another person and connect, again, through healing yourself and through others.
Absolutely. Oh, gosh. It's such a beautiful vision. And I think, one of the things you touched on is that community can really help us see our own strengths more clearly. It's so hard when we have our own blinders on, right? We're seeing the world through a limited, narrow perspective. We might not know what our gifts are. We might not know the light that we bring. And if we're constantly in a place where we can't see it, it can feel dark. It can feel heavy, right?
Yeah. Again, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're doing it for each other, doing it for the audience that is here and seeing something in us today that will make connections from here and say thank you, and we see it in them when they meet us and connect with us and connect with the community. And whenever we've met, I call them miracles, the synchronicities, the weave that we've talked about of how everything is so connected is just, it gives the giddy feeling.
Yes, exactly. I know.
I was like, I can't even explain it.
Laugh like little kids.
It's so Magical. It's so giddy, and you're introducing me to the word magical more, and the word witch, and the word healer, and all of these things that we get to say and get to express.
Yeah.
And light us up.
Yes.
So what lights you up, and keep doing it?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the idea of like light worker and energy healer, right? For most of my life, I thought about energy healing as like hands on the body, and that's certainly one part of it. But like, I've really started to broaden my understanding of what an energy healer is, right? It's someone who, I think comedians can be energy healers. I think actors can be energy healers. I think musicians can be energy healers, right? There are people who are living their truth, right? And it just, it just spreads, right? That light, that joy, that passion. It's like a flame, It's like a flame that lights us up as we approach it.
You're helping me reform the definition in a way, and still it's showing up authentically with your talents and lighting people up.
Yeah.
The comedians, the musicians, the artists, the cooks.
Yes.
Everybody.
Everybody.
The transportation. The how do you get from one space to another? The communications and marketing to bring this to other people. Yeah. Everybody.
I love that you talked about transportation. Like, I've had many Uber drivers who are light workers, who are energy healers. Like, to be in the car with them is like, oh, I feel better.
Yes.
I feel good.
We'll have to do this on another episode possibly, but the idea of boundaries then, right? Because when we don't feel the light, when we don't feel this, and there's a guard up, what do we do with that? Because that's important. Because that exists too. Absolutely, it exists.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what are your kind of first thoughts? I mean, I know we can definitely talk more about that later, but you brought it up. Because it's funny, I had this conversation with my massage therapist earlier today, how often when you're stepping into your gifts, into your light, when you're really starting to like play with it, learn what it is, learn how to work with it, we're wide open. Because we have to be, right? To play on the playground, you got to skin your knees and, right? Like, bump into each other and play. Yeah. But it is a kind of a vulnerable space to be wide open as we are learning, as we are honing, fine-tuning, figuring out our gifts. So yeah, I think you're a little further along the journey than I am. What have been some of the ways that you have created safe barriers around your gifts, safe boundaries to protect your energy? Because otherwise, it can feel overwhelming and too big.
As many probably have heard the word no.
Yep.
Pausing is really important. Waiting to see what you will want to respond and how you want to respond. Checking in with your body, what feels good and what doesn't. That's that intuition.
You're so good at that too. Oh yes, I love that. And good at reminding.
Yeah, that's taken a lot of practice. Yeah. I've worked mentally with a counselor and done EMDR technique that has worked on the nervous system, which has been huge to help determine the difference between fear and intuition that is actual safety, and knowing that is really important. That's been still something I'm working through, but it's been pivotal in trying to determine, is this something that my ego is trying to protect me, or is it true danger? Yeah. And most of the time it's not true danger, because we are not experiencing danger around us. Yeah. But is it emotional danger? And then there is the energetic side that, again, I feel like too many people aren't talking about it. And through Reiki, we can feel our energetic bodies. And we can feel the bumps and bruises in our energetic bodies and our chakras, and how can we help those. So it is actually protecting your energy field. And I've done a lot of work through protecting energy field. And it's like a coat of armor that I've had to put on, and it extends to the car and to the house and to the people around you. And when are you feeling attacked? Yeah. And in that energy, in your skin, in your body, in all levels. Yeah.
What does it feel like that when you're having intuitive information come through? What does that feel like for you personally in your body? I'm always curious.
For me, it's a ping. It's this little tingle. It's a knowing. So mine comes through as a knowing. Yeah. And it's so confident, and it's that level too of like, I know this, but it's also subtle.
Yes.
And that's what I've learned. It's very subtle.
Yes.
But the impact is huge.
Yes.
And that's why when we talk about it, we're like, it's so big. This feels so amazing. It's huge. But the shift is often quiet and it's often subtle.
Yes. And I think it's so tricky because the other signals can be so much louder, right? Those fear signals can be so loud. Like I found for me, like sugar in my system is really loud. Different people, different substances, right, will have a really loud signal for your nervous system that might make it harder to tune into this subtle, quiet, intuitive information.
Okay, I want to talk forever, as I know we would, because you're just talking about sugar and the body, and it does bring it back to the physical, medical side of things, that there is actual chemistry that's happening for these things, and not to ignore it, not just talk about the energy side, but how can we talk about the physical body and what goes into it and how we can optimize our body as well.
It's funny because, we can talk about energy as a sort of like conceptual like flow that we can't see, but when it comes to sugar, it's like literally ATP, the biochemical, like the molecule for energy in our body. We know it takes energy to process sugar, to process food, to store it. So it's like that energy is taken away from receiving the signals, the subtler signals, right? So it's all energy.
Yeah, and I'm laughing because this is the liberated healers. People who are interested in the soul, the spirit, and the medical, or at least intrigued by both. And it's like, what is that when you're talking about, anatomy and physiology and what's happening? And then also intrigued by, what do you mean by intuition and the energy field? It's a curiosity for both. And I feel that that's the bridge that we're trying to create because I've experienced a lot of both sides where I feel like if the bridge could help us heal a little bit better. And no right or wrong, and every single space in that spectrum has a worth, has a value, and no right or wrong in it. But where can we cross and step over and take a peek for curiosity on both sides and continue to cross that bridge back and forth?
Exactly.
So maybe it's bigger than a bridge, right? It's just a whole circle that you get to be in. And so that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for more people out there who want to join this conversation, who want to be part of both sides, of all sides, that it isn't a side anymore, that we're just creating a new way of life.
Exactly. Oh, Kristen. Oh my God. Literally, I mean, could talk to you all day. And fortunately, we get the chance to chat quite often.
Yes.
But for folks who are really resonating with this message and are curious and, want to be in a community of other folks with the same kind of passion and curiosity, how can they find you?
So you can find me at the website, www.kristenbedrick.com. And together you can find us at the www.theliberatedhealers.com and certainly through Emily's information as well.
Yeah. But again, anybody who's curious about this, it's just a group that we're supporting in all the ways that we can as we build this bridge. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time on the Passion Witch Project.